If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, but let's get right to it. I just wanted to give some of my expanded thoughts about the new Star Wars Episode 9 teaser trailer that came out for The Rise of Skywalker. Now, first things first, it's 2 minutes and 9 seconds long. How is that a teaser? Teasers should be like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, something like that. This is basically trailer number 1. I'm sure we'll get a trailer number 1 and a trailer number 2, but to call this a teaser, I don't know. Okay, let's unpack a couple things. First of all, the title, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, there's lots of theories going all around on the internet, but I'm just going to say this is my take on it. My take on it is that it's not about Luke Skywalker rising from the dead like a Jesus kind of moment where he comes back. It's not about Rey's lineage and we find out that she might be a Skywalker. I just don't see it. I think The Rise of Skywalker is just an encapsulating statement of all 9 films. It's a play on words, okay? Started with The Phantom Menace, Anakin Skywalker, created in the womb by the midichlorians, which we've later have found out through a novelization that it was actually Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious, who actually created Anakin and formed him out of nothing into the Force. He was just born of the Force, and it was shaped and all by Darth Sidious and aka Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine. He needed something else besides himself to help get everything he ever wanted out of the galaxy. And so I really feel like The Rise of Skywalker could be a reference to Anakin, could be a reference to Luke, doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. I don't think it has anything to do with Rey. And I feel like we're going to find out that Rey, this is just my theory, could be just like Anakin, formed by the Emperor. I think we're going to find that out. That's why we had the cackle at the end. Okay, I like in the trailer, I like the scene with Carrie Fisher and how, you know, they used other footage from other scenes and stuff. I almost feel like that shot of her face is the shot when Han holds her and she's just before he leaves to go try to take out Starkiller Base. And I feel like they might have rotoscoped her out and done so. I think there's going to be a lot of that, along with some of the other scenes that they said that they had shot from The Force Awakens that they were able to incorporate into this. I think those specific scenes in the teaser trailer where she's hugging Rey and Rey has the single tear coming down, then the hands with the medal, which was Han's medal from A New Hope, I think that is from Han's funeral. I feel like JJ, because it never was really addressed, and when Rian Johnson kind of never really showed any kind of mourning or anything for Han, I feel like this is like some sort of funeral that they might be having that she shows up at, and that's just I'm just throwing that out there. I did see a GIF online that was shot for shot. The scene where Rey in the beginning is looking at the TIE fighter approaching, then she turns and runs, then she does the flip. Somebody grabbed it and was shot for shot in the scene with Cary Grant in North by Northwest. And it's pretty cool. If you see it out there, it's pretty cool. But, you know, directors always, you know, do little nods and things like that in their movies of other films that influenced them growing up and stuff like that. And my thinking is J.J. Abrams, if he even thought of this, was, you know, tipping his hat to North by Northwest. Once again, we don't know what the planet is. It looks less Jakku, because Jakku was just littered with lots of debris from the big battles of Jakku with the starships and X-Wings and everything all crashed all over the place. This feels and looks more like Tatooine, but then when you look at the inhabitants, although Tatooine is a big planet, who knows where they could be. I'm leaning more towards that, but something tells me, just like everyone thought Jakku was Tatooine, this is going to be a whole new planet altogether. I don't understand why, and I could tell when Kylo Ren like bum rushes that guy and hits him with the hilt of the lightsaber and slams him down. I like that shot, but at the same time, why didn't he just slice the guy right in half with the lightsaber? Granted, maybe that is what's going to be in the final cut. Sometimes in these movie trailers, they put scenes and things in it that aren't going to be in the actual film. A lot, just like the voiceover work that we saw in the original Force Awakens trailer and some of the voiceover work that was in The Last Jedi. There are things that they just put in there to put in there. So we'll just have to wait and see how that works out. But I don't understand why Kylo didn't slice this guy in half. Why, you know, pick him up by the fist with the hilt going in him and slamming him down to the ground. It just didn't make any sense to me. Maybe it'll make sense in the actual film itself. And so let's see, anything else left to unpack? We've got our montages of all of our characters. I did notice that Rose wasn't in the trailer. But then, of course, I've been following all of the Star Wars Celebration stuff, and she was in it, and they put up a picture of her, a still image from the film. It looks like she's might be down on the base level with Leia or whoever the other characters are that are in charge of the Resistance at this point. And so, you know, maybe she's taking a back seat. I know on some of the Star Wars panels, when they talked, the Episode 9 panel from Celebration, they asked if, you know, because at the end of The Last Jedi, you know, Rose had said, "I love you," and gave a kiss to Finn before she collapsed and was in a coma, or whatever the case may be. But then she said that Finn is a bachelor. So obviously that's been retconned. They're not going to have a love triangle between Rey and Rose and Finn, and it's probably just going to stay more like brother-sister with Finn and Rey, and Rose is just doing her own thing. So I think they just took that Rian Johnson storyline and beat and kicked it out because there's not enough time to develop it. Now, if they had alluded to that in The Last Jedi in the beginning of the film and it had time to develop to get to that point, but again, Last Jedi, bad storytelling. So let's see, what else was there? Any big... The Death Star crash landed onto the planet. Okay, so obviously... if you've got Palpatine's voice, Darth Sidious's laugh at the end, and Luke saying that line, you know, which was from The Last Jedi, we have something to the effect of "we're never really gone." So a couple of things could have happened here. I had a friend of mine who threw out a theory to me, Barrett Stevens, and said, you know, what if it's just a Jedi holocron where they get to the wreckage of the Death Star and maybe they find some things that answer some questions and a hologram appears of Sidious. I thought that was interesting, but after Snoke being killed, who is the real big villain? I mean, what villain do you have? So they went back to Sidious, which I think is a great way to go back. And if Sidious has been the mastermind of all of this all along, that's even better. But my thinking is, if you remember in Revenge of the Sith, when Mace Windu was fighting Darth Sidious, and you know, they crash the window and he throws the lightning at him and he catches it with the lightsaber and then pushes it back on him, and then it's killing him and it's killing him, but then he's like, ultimate power. Okay, now remember when Vader picks up Sidious just before he throws him down the shaft, he's electrifying himself too, and the bolts are all going in him, and you know, obviously Anakin couldn't withstand that after his body had been crippled anyway. And then he gets thrown down the shaft and the big blue comes up, and you just assume that he's dead. He vaporized into the reactor shaft. But what really did happen? And then I was thinking about some of the scenes in Revenge of the Sith when Yoda and Darth Sidious are spinning, you know, Senate chamber chairs and throw them at each other, and they're leaping from giant leaps and bounds, and Sidious like jumps and falls maybe 1,000 stories and lands on his feet, and I'm just like, you know, well, if he got thrown down that shaft, maybe he did survive. Maybe he was able to hold on to something and get his composure. And then when the Death Star blew into pieces and all these pieces fell, I mean, obviously they're going to be pulled into different atmospheres, different planets' gravities after the explosion. I don't think this is Endor. Okay, but that's not to say that it's not. Endor was a wooded forest, and sure, there could be an ocean somewhere, and a piece could have fallen. But my thinking is, it blew up in the in space, and these pieces could have drifted, and it could have landed on another planet. Again, I think the assumption is it's going to be Endor. I just don't think they're going to go there. I don't think they're going to go there because if you go to Endor, the big question everyone's going to be asking is, well, where are all the Ewoks? Because if you're on Endor, you got to show the Ewoks, and I just don't think they're going that way. So my thinking is maybe gravity pulled a section of the... And this, again, I believe this is the second Death Star from Return of the Jedi after he was thrown down the shaft. And maybe in this giant piece in a corridor, in a hallway, in a closet somewhere, he rode this thing down through the atmosphere and crash landed on a planet. And maybe everyone has gone to this planet because the pull of the Force has brought them to this planet or whatever. I could be completely wrong. I still think Chewbacca is going to kill Kylo Ren. That's just my thing, because I think he may want to get revenge for Han, but that's just my thing. So I'm really excited about what's going on. I love that, once again, J.J. Abrams brings the mystery box. Just like the original Force Awakens trailer, it showed you a lot of stuff but didn't tell you anything, but it gave you everything you wanted. You wanted to see Han and Chewie come up and go into the Falcon and go, Chewie, we're home. You wanted to see the little things, the dark side, the light, the lightsaber ignite with Kylo Ren, which that scene was never in The Force Awakens. And again with the dialogue as well. So this trailer, I'm calling it a trailer, they call it a teaser. This is a 2-minute trailer. It basically showed you a lot but told you nothing, and is going to leave you trying to figure out plugging these holes for the next 18 months till December. So look, I'm really excited. I was really happy to see it. I do believe this will be the longest running Star Wars film when it comes out. I'm thinking it's going to be like 3 hours, 45 minutes, maybe just a few more minutes longer than The Last Jedi. I do think there's going to be a lot of retconning. I do believe that Kylo Ren was lying to Rey when he said her parents were Junkards. I just think that would be a deceitful Sith thing to do. To play on her emotions. I always believe that there is some connection as to how she has become who she's become, and again, become so powerful. We're going to find out everything, and I'm excited. I enjoyed the trailer. I've watched it dozens and dozens of times and tried to analyze it, but I'm giving up on that, and I'm just going to wait and see what else trickles out and look forward to the movie. What did you think of the trailer? Let's talk about it in the comment section, and we'll see you on the next video.